Hello friends, happy Memorial Day and welcome to the Urban Homesteading channel. If this is the first time you're visiting with us, we want to extend to you a very warm welcome and invite you to watch any of our over 560 episodes arranged for your convenience in playlists, as we are confident you're going to find something both useful and entertaining to watch. If you have been here before, welcome back. If today is your birthday, yee-haw, happy birthday. So today we're going to take this pair of satyrs that we found for a couple of dollars at the restore.
Yeah, I think it was on sale, like $1 for that set.
We're going to transform it into some whimsical shelving for one of our bathrooms, right? Mm-hmm. So stick around and we're going to show you all this process. We're not going to leave anything out. So you can go and buy yourself for a couple of dollars something similar and create the same project. One of the reasons we're doing that right now is because, as you might be aware, this is early to mid 2021. Wood prices have gone berserk, right? I mean, it just...
Yeah.
So we're trying to find projects that use either our scraps or projects that we find in restores that we can source wood that it is not $10 per linear foot, you know?
Right.
So stick around and we're going to show you exactly how to do this. So we're going to start by thoroughly cleaning the old satyrs before we start the repurposing process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty ready.
So I'm using a vinegar water solution in my spray bottle.
And vinegar and water will cut through a lot of old grime and dirt. You may just have to scrub a little bit, but it's a nice non-toxic cleaner.
Well, and since we don't know where they came from, it's a good idea because if it has any oil residue or anything like that, the paint will not adhere to it, right? So
Right.
if you knew that they were in a dry environment, you don't need to do that necessarily as diligently, right? Mm-hmm. But in our case, because we don't know, it's better to do it and have it done and move on, right?
Okay.
Okay, you might want to be here, I don't know. So we're going to remove the hinges that connect this piece to the satyr and then reattach this piece. And the reason we're removing them, hold on, this is too fat of a end. I need to replace it. The reason we're removing them is because, again, this will become a shelf, it will be on the wall, and we cannot afford to have protrusions in the back, right?
Right, so that section is going to sit flush against the wall, and leaving the hinges there would prevent that from being flush.
Right. And these are very small screws, that's why what we have now is the wrong size. What?
There's none in there.
There
or
is.
if it is,
It
it's
is
like...
in there, but it's way in there.
Stop.
And here we are. We have the adapter. The correct bit. Woo.
Hey, that was good. And now we're going to keep this hardware because we never know when to use it, right? When we need it.
Right.
It will come off.
Recycle and upcycle.
Okay, so it should come off now.
There we go.
And granted, this is a little bit of overkill. We're going to keep the screws and the little
Hinge. The hinge.
woo.
Unless somebody keeps dropping the screws on the floor.
We'll still keep them.
Yeah, but we just won't know where they are.
Right, we'll have to find them. Okay.
So this is free.
Yeah, this is free.
Okay.
And a little trick I wanted to show you. When we're evaluating this, when we bought this, it was free. So the piece didn't work. And a good trick is if you have something like this, you still can use it by using a nail. And now all of a sudden you have a pin.
Ah, so it's the pin for the hinge.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one had it, and when we bought it, we didn't pay attention, or I don't know if it was even critical.
It's okay. Yeah, we weren't sure we were even going to use the parts, so.
But if you don't have a pin, it is not a reason not to buy it, even if you need it. A nail will allow you to have a working hinge as well, right?
Okay.
Now the next step, we have to still attach this somehow. You want to remove this hardware?
Yep.
More hardware to keep.
Yep.
All right. And I recommend maybe pocket screws. That will be strong and it will be invisible, right?
We'll see. Yeah.
All right.
We'll come up with something that'll hold them together.
All right,
All
but
right.
then the next thing we need to do is take these little lever things off, because again, that's part of the being able to sit flush and also not interfere with the shelf part of it.
Right.
Okay.
So this particular one just had little staples.
All of them do. I mean, that's the
Okay.
whole.
Okay, so it's just little staples that go, basically it's staples on the pulley itself and then staples into each one of the slats.
And make sure they're all removed, like we have a couple
These
here.
are all pretty easy to remove. He just pulled them out by hand, and then any random ones that were still in the slats you can pull out with some needle nose pliers. And then all of the slats will. Okay, so we've got one more to remove. Let's see if it's as simple.
Yeah. Now that we said it was simple.
Some random,
Never say something is simple.
right? The 5-minute fan.
Yeah.
The famous 5-minute fan. Yeah, so just real easy. Again, they seem to come out pretty easy.
They do. These left much more in. So we're going to not bore you, but we're going to have to.
Yep,
remove
but
them all.
I'm just showing how easy they are to pull out. And again, just pull them in the direction, the opposite direction of they were inserted, so that you're not going against the wood.
Right, but this is something you have to do because again, this is going to be a self. It's not going to be a.
Right.
We don't need them to open and close. In fact, the opposite is true. Right? Because we don't want things falling off or interfering with how it sits on the wall.
Right. Okay.
All right, we'll finish that and we'll be right back with step 3 or 4, whatever the step is.
Whatever.
So we're using a small bit of super glue on each of those slats, and we have cut a very thin piece of scrap. The idea is we don't want them opening and closing or being allowing things to fall through, right? Since it is a self, and we don't want it to look uneven. So we cut a piece of wood. The idea also is that we want this to be flush, right? And this will take about, I think, 30 to 60 seconds of pressure, and then it should be good. So we're going to do that on both sides, and we're going to be right back. Directions for our super glue is that it has to be held for what, 30 seconds we said? I don't remember.
Yeah.
So hold it for 30 seconds. Now, after the 30 seconds, you can paint it, finish it, whatever you want to do, but it is recommended that you do not put a lot of stress on that joint, right?
For about 10 minutes at least, yeah.
Yeah, so give it a little bit of time, then you can finish it. Of course, follow the directions that your specific glue is. We are using Loctite super glue. We are not sponsored by Loctite. That's what we had, and that's what we're using. So okay. I've had good luck with Loctite products in the past, so I don't think we're going to have any issues. And of course, here for us, it is the two criteria we wanted to meet is that it will be flush, right? So when it is on the wall, or if we put something on top, it will not be protruding. And as you can see, it's flush there. Mm-hmm. And the other part was that it is quick, right? Mm-hmm. And it is not causing any other issues, right? We consider brad nails, but we were afraid the brad nails might protrude. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind now we're working on the back side, right? So this will be the one will be the top, and the other will be on the wall. So this is not visible, but we still didn't want it to be totally ugly.
Right.
Is that the right word?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
To hold it to the wall.
Yeah, I think this is the piece that would hold it to the wall when it was actually being used as shutters.
All right, if you remember, we removed some hardware from this piece that was attached to our shutters, and we're going to use this piece to attach our towel hooks, right? Mm-hmm. For strength and easy assembly, we are going to use pocket screws for this. And we have set up our pocket jig. You've seen us do that 100 times. We don't need to show you how to set it up again, right? Mm-hmm. And a couple of things. Here you could use glue if these were raw surfaces, right? Wood glue, I mean.
Right.
But these are not raw surfaces, so wood glue will not hold.
Right. And if you really wanted to take the time, you could sand out that that surface and the connecting one and do glue, but we don't want to.
And we feel that the pocket screws will be plenty strong. Okay, and we decided to put 4. Is that what we do?
Yes.
Again, we do want some strength on it because
and we made some rough marks when we aligned it with the shutters themselves, just so we know roughly where we want to put the pocket screws.
it for a moment. Okay, now. It has to be flat.
Why is
Did
it?
it even make a hole? I didn't feel anything. Good grief. I didn't. Did you feel it?
Well, no, I didn't feel anything, and
Okay.
that's probably,
Coming so close to.
Because that's how
it's just a thin board.
it is a very thin piece of wood.
Okay.
That's why we wanted to make sure we're on the right side. Because
Okay.
okay. So we're set up here. We're ready to do the connection. Again, you can see our pocket screws are not the prettiest thing in the world, but this is totally invisible, right? You're not
Well,
gonna
this will
see
be
it.
on the back.
Right. This is the back.
And really important, what we did was line up the pieces so that they are absolutely flush. We've got the clamps to help hold them in place to make sure that the pocket holes all align and everything is going to look really nice and aligned. I did bring over these.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to go here first. We do need to replace this bit. This is the original bit that came with our jig, and recently we've noticed that it's coming out.
It's slipping a lot.
Right. All right. So this should be it now, right? Mm-hmm. Not for the whole project, but for this phase.
No, but it should be. That piece is now very nicely attached and will be solid and will be able to support the weight of the towels as the intended.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. We'll be right back. So here we are in our paint booth,
Yeah.
and we made
AKA the stumps outside.
and we're going kind of bold with this project, right? We are departing from our normal either white or, I mean, this is already stained, of course, but we're going to paint it because we want it to have a more farmhouse nautical kind of theme, right?
Yeah, we wanted
cobble.
something, you know, the walls will be a muted kind of pale, soft color, relaxing color. We wanted something that's going to pop a little bit and bring it some interest.
Okay, and so what color have we chosen?
This is satin Oxford blue, and we hope we'll like it.
Well, LP that likes it.
If we don't like
It's
it,
a pretty color,
Yeah,
you know.
if we don't like it, we'll use a different color.
yeah.
Do you want to start?
That's
with
the
black?
awesome thing about paint is that if you don't like it, you can put another color on it. It's a real nice blue. So we'll just take our time and put the coats on and come back and show you when this is completely painted.
So this is our first coat, and we're going to do how many coats, Miss Wizard?
2 probably.
Okay. But so far, this looks like what we wanted it as far as the. Whenever you buy color for the first time, you always have to see if you like it, right? Mm-hmm. Because what you see on the can is not always.
This one says dries in 10 minutes or less for metal, wood, plastic, and more. Paint plus primer.
Does it say how long between coats? I think if it dries that fast, probably you can do a coat almost immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Fast dry time at 10 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this should be pretty quick and easy then.
What is happening?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So we're placing the brackets, and to ensure that we don't split the wood, we've drilled some pilot holes.
And here, because those screws are usually intended to go to a wall or something, make sure that your screws are not too long for your. And in our case, they are, and we're going to have to reduce their dimension a little bit, right?
Okay.
Now on the bottom part, it doesn't make a difference, so we're going to just insert it, right? Okay.
Remember,
All right.
shallow.
Yeah. So here you must not go through. So be very careful, right? And we had to shorten our screw. I need to change, sorry. We need to shorten our screw, otherwise it would have protruded. On the side to the wall, that's not important. But on the side that goes up, you don't want to try to put your hands there and getting...
And so to shorten the screw, we just put it in the vise here, use the little Dremel with a cutting blade, shorten the screw so it would be an appropriate length and not protrude from the top of the shell.
Well, on projects like this, it's very likely you're going to have to shorten some screws, especially if the screws you're using came with the hardware, right? You have no control of how long the screws are. So one of the easiest ways is to use your Dremel tool. And in our case, we've rigged up here our vise, which is really not designed for this at all.
Right, but it's holding the screw, which will get quite warm.
And now we have a screw that actually will not go through our material, right? It's an easy one. A Dremel is a tool I do recommend. What?
Just trying to get it to focus now.
A Dremel is a tool I do recommend. And by the way, that's the second reason, because this now doesn't have a pointy end. It is even more critical you have a pilot hole.
Right.
Otherwise this screw will not go through anything, right?
Okay.
But with a pilot hole, you should have no difficulty attaching the screw.
Okay.
Okay?
And so now you still need to drill this one.
Right.
Okay.
And this one again, we might even use that, we might change it to bigger screws to connect it to the wall on that side, so we don't have to make more holes, right? So here we don't care that we will go through. And Mrs. Wizard took care that the two brackets are approximately on the same.
And we did
area.
use supporting pieces of wood here so that we're not drilling through the tabletop.
Yeah, when you do something like that, it's always good to elevate it, right?
Okay.
Okay.
So now both brackets are installed, and we're going to space all the hooks for the towels.
And
And
again,
install
we're going to do pilot holes. On projects like that, pilot holes I think are very important. So here we are in our bathroom with the self-installed. And Miss Wizard, is that what you were envisioning?
It is.
And we do have a couple of more things to do in this bathroom, so this is not the end of the... But this is the end of our project. It is a reasonably inexpensive project, right?
Yeah, the shutter cost $1 and the hardware cost about $20, $25, something around there.
And if you happen to have some leftover, you can use leftover hardware. We didn't have any. But we are accumulating hardware as we dismantling things. So it makes the bathroom pop, like it gives it a little color and everything else. So overall, we achieved the look we were going for, right?
Yeah, I like it.
And do you remember how much the paint was?
$3.
$3. And again, as we use paint, we are creating a collection, right? So I'm sure we're going to use this paint for something else. It's not going to go to waste. We do hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, we would like you to give us a thumbs up, share, like, subscribe. Let us know what else you would like to see in our channel in future episodes. From Dr. Wizard, Mrs. Wizard, Elpida and Durban Homesteading Channel, put your masks on, wash your hands, and we're going to see you soon with another episode. Farewell, friends.